and doing Q-tip testing so that we normalise it and sort of demystify that whole thing, where I might put a mask on and be the person in the, you know, the outfit they're going to see it there and go, okay, and tilt your head and here's what, oh, it's all done, you're very good, just to play with it. And don't forget, our little kids who aren't wearing masks are now going to see not only their teachers and adults, they're maybe seeing siblings and other school children. So even though they're not wearing them, it is important to normalise them and even get your little child-friendly kind of, and this one has a nice little, I was going to call it a pipe cleaner, but you know, one of those little bendy bits at the top to encourage that kind of, and we squeeze the top for that nice tight fit.
Joanna, we've got lots of...
Yeah, you know, just encourage that kind of nice fit over your liberties, over your civil rights, and, you know, any semblance of being a free human being, because we have to normalize. We have to just play with conditioning your child to be prodded like cattle. That is freaking disgusting, and I am heavily censoring myself right now, to say the least. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski here of wearechange.org, and we got a lot of crazy information to get into, as it looks like the federal mandate by Biden has been struck down, but the fight is not over, especially with the new bill that House Republicans have just passed, new surveillance powers by the CDC, and now a second case of this alleged variant from a person that just took his third procedure in November. Yes, you heard that correctly. We're going to be getting into that, plus a lot more. And for today's video, I was either going to play the beginning of this broadcast, which we did, or this video of French people having their lunch rudely interrupted by jackboot thugs demanding to see everyone's identification and medical records. That's the world that people want you living in, and it's only going to be normalized. It's only going to be ingrained in our society if, of course, you choose to go along with it. And as globally there have been massive violations against people's individual human rights, what's the corporate media worried about? Well, the New York Times is right now complaining about cat videos being used to spread misinformation. I'm not kidding you right now. The New York Times ran a headline saying those cute cats online are used to, quote, build audiences for people and organizations pushing allegedly false, misleading information. What crazy level of censorship are we at? Well, this level right here. And what did you expect here in the United States when we have individuals that have been nicknamed Lubin Tubin that are acting like the morality police surrounding a debate that's unfolding in the Supreme Court around abortions now? This from a man commenting on the issue who also tried to pressure his mistress into having a termination of their unforeseen accidental pregnancy. Yeah, when it comes to this very important issue, I'm definitely not going to be tuning in to CNN to get their point of view from it, as of course they're a network that screams my body, my choice, but also at the same time demands that everyone take a medical procedure that they want them to take, or else they want to eliminate their participation in all of society. Yeah, I would say there's a little bit of hypocrisy in that thinking, and of course with thought leaders like CNN, who of course, when they're not trying to make you a customer of Big Pharma, are also pushing the divide and conquer agenda, pushing of course racist, discriminatory, woke ideology, critical race nonsense, which is not only leading to real life harm and of course crime going up all throughout the United States, but also has individuals like Ray Dalio, a hedge fund founder, who is now predicting that the United States has a 30% chance of a civil conflict domestically within the next 10 years because of specifically emotional political polarization, which, let's be honest, has been at an all-time high and is only further destroying any kind of civil political discourse that previously we had. And I think Ray Dalio did make some very interesting points here. I do believe his assessment is fairly correct from my own personal perspective, as of course this is a problem that we have been seeing for a very long time and trying to prevent at all cost with, of course, civil discourse, the promotion of critical thinking, having an open mind, getting out of your echo chambers, which of course free speech and getting rid of censorship is absolutely key in, which is something that a lot of ruling establishments have been doing the opposite of, hurting speech while of course promoting censorship, which creates more echo chambers, creates more bubbles, creates more polarization, creates more delusion, creates more nonsense, which of course we do not stand for, we stand against, and we delve into those topics plus a lot more, even more in depth on, of course, LukeUncensored.com. We're going to have yet another video available for members later on today. Make sure you sign up on our email list right here in the top right-hand corner, and you will get notifications every time that these videos do go out there to the general public. Today, we will be discussing Dana White, who, by the way, has been fully compliant with both procedures, but also came down with a sickness, which he is now relying on the Joe Rogan method in order to heal himself from. And we're hearing that after he implemented this Joe Rogan method, he is feeling like $1 million in less than 24 hours. What is the Joe Rogan method? Well, it's something that I personally used recently here at the Beanie compound, which Rogan even paid for. So I'm going to be talking about that experience as well as all the other news I want to get into today on LukeUncensored.com. I hope to see you guys there later on today. Now, I think it's very fair to say that there has been a lot of fear-mongering recently by many politicians and media pundits that, of course, are warning about a new variant of a sickness going around. That name is Omicron, as Joe Biden has been calling it, as of course the first case of this sickness happened with someone who fully complied and had 2 procedures within them. Now we're finding out about a second case in the United States of this particular variant coming from Minnesota, from a person that not only took 2 procedures, but recently took a 3rd procedure in November of this year. Yes, a fully compliant person in Minnesota that has taken 3 procedures that Dr. Fauci told him to take is now the 2nd person that has been officially labeled sick from this particular variant. This is, of course, from reporting from Axios. Now, what's going on here? Well, I have absolutely no idea. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not here to give you medical advice, but it is kind of strange that the people who have complied and have taken a procedure that Dr. Fauci wants them to take are some of the first people that are getting this new variant. And it's even stranger to see the Biden administration's response to this new variant be, take this procedure. Could this procedure be linked to potentially creating worse problems here? Well, we don't know. It's a theory out there. But I think instead of jumping to conclusions, we should definitely wait and see all the information as it comes out and then make an informed judgment when we have evidence in front of us that allows us to jump to a conclusion. But prematurely doing so, I believe, could lead to more potential harm than good in this country. And I think a lot of people will realize that, as of course this administration has been very gung-ho to the point where even top members of the FDA resigned because of their, quote, overzealous push for this procedure, for this 3rd procedure, and their mandates, which fails to talk about natural immunity, which is one reason why a 2nd federal judge just slapped down Joe Biden's mandate that he wanted to implement on the majority of Americans in a few days from now. This is the 2nd federal judge that is talking about the importance of recognizing natural immunity and also the nonsensical discriminatory policy, which of course violates the U.S. Constitution. And of course, it's not just federal judges making these very important decisions. It's also many jurisdictions all around the United States, as even the city of Chicago just dropped their mandate lawsuit against the police union in Chicago, which is a major victory for, of course, police officers in Chicago who didn't want to comply with the whims of government and their overstepping of authority, and with major victories for civil rights all throughout the United States. Is this finally the end of this nasty, draconian, totalitarian overreach by government? Nope. they haven't given up yet, with, of course, Dr. Fauci recently proclaiming that soon Americans will have to receive this procedure every year. This as 80 House Republicans have joined Democrats in Congress and helped pass a bill that will create a federal registry of people complying with the whims of government. As, of course, the CDC just gave itself new emergency surveillance powers to target individuals who they may believe may be affected by this new variant. This, as of course, Biden's czar surrounding the sickness just came out and said that, quote, everything is on the table to mandate the federal government to have control of Americans' ability to travel domestically, as, of course, the Biden administration is soon looking to implement a decree by its administration that would prevent people from flying domestically in the United States if they didn't get their permission slip by jumping through the hoops of compliance by the federal government. This is an absolutely discriminatory law that would hurt commerce, freedoms, civil liberties in the United States extensively, and it's important to note it's something that other countries have already implemented, like in Germany, that just announced that they are locking down people who don't comply with the government, who don't have the government's permission and paperwork, as they are literally making plans to make a medical procedure mandatory in its society. We have seen similar moves done by, of course, Austria recently that also, a couple days ago, locked down specifically people who didn't comply with the government and didn't get this procedure. And then a couple days later, they just locked everyone else down, which is most likely what Germany is going to be doing here. As, of course, their larger extortion efforts are efforts that, of course, fuel and bankroll their insane policies and decisions. As, of course, Austria is even planning to implement enormous fines for people who don't comply with the government, for trying to live an average life, for trying to be at a restaurant, for trying to get a haircut, for trying to be inside of a shopping mall. Activities all, of course, criminalized, unless, of course, you get and are granted permission by the federal government to do so. This is the social credit score, in my opinion. The politicians implementing these policies should be ashamed of themselves, as, of course, as we're finding out through the science, they do very little to actually help people. They do very little to stop the spread, as, of course, the spread has been spreading more, usually in places that have the most strictest policies. Lebanon just imposed a curfew on people who didn't take this procedure. This as the European Commission president just announced that she's going to be starting conversations about making it mandatory across all of Europe. This as she was just recently seen last month canoodling with the CEO of Pfizer. This all because of fears of a new variant where in the United States the only people getting it are the people who have taken this procedure, who have complied and did everything the government wanted them to do. But of course, the logic, science doesn't matter to a lot of these people, as of course the local government in Australia, the Victorian government, just passed their emergency law, which pretty much grants them dictatorial overlord powers over their citizenry. I think I'm starting to see a trend here, and it's a trend that is absolutely nonsensical, goes against the basic human, fundamental human rights that should be protected at all costs, no matter what. That's my personal perspective. That's my personal opinion. If you think I'm wrong in any way, shape, or form, let me know why in the comment section below. I always appreciate constructive criticism, critical thinking, outside the box thinking, and providing me with data and information outside of my realm of understanding. That is the way to truly progress society, is to open yourself up to criticism, open yourself up to new information, have an open mind, and that, of course, is something that a lot of very powerful people don't want you having. This is what we believe in. That's why we're going to be doing another video on our own platform later on today. Hope to see some of you guys there. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys sharing these videos with your friends, family members, random people you meet down the street, just copying the URL, going into your messenger, messaging random people, sending them this video, not even saying anything, just send them this video. It means the world to me that you do, and because you do, this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.